What is going on? This is SAMOK of UNFIT, checking in with you guys. So you guys are doing terrific, and we are back with another video. So in today's video, I'm gonna be covering a topic that I think a lot of you guys, I always say that, but I'm covering a topic that I think a lot of people still struggle from. Again, because I get a lot of questions. How should you be training if your goal is fat loss? Oftentimes, a lot of people get the misconception that if you are on a fat loss phase, your training should be different. If you are on a massing phase, you're trying to gain some lean tissue mass, your training should be different. So we are gonna be covering that and how you should be navigating those two instances if your goal is to gain lean tissue mass or if your goal is to lose a lot of body fat. Another reason why the topic is very important, in case you don't know, if you've been watching, if you're new to the channel, if this is the first video that you are watching, I am currently on a contest prep. I'm in a contest prep to get back on stage this year, possibly go to WMBF Worlds, amongst all the fitness goals that I have set for myself, which include running a marathon. I just finished running a half marathon this week. So how is my training changed from while I was massing compared to now that I have contest prep or shredded goals? I'm going to be covering that and letting you know how you can approach your training program to make sure you're putting yourself in the best position to get the most bang for your buck with your training program and get the most results you are trying to get in the gym in terms of getting shredded. Of course, this week is my overreaching training week, and we are getting ready to send it. RP called Jesus week, and we got the pre on deck. We got BP in flight. We got some electrolytes. We got some creatine in here. Electrolytes just because I did a half marathon yesterday and I PR'd on my half marathon, which is crazy. Without further ado, I'm gonna stop stalling and get after this training session. So I just finished warming up and I'm about to get after the first movement. Before we get further into this video is sponsored by me, yours truly. So it's been a while since I've been wanting to create, have some sort of collab with you guys or some sort of clothing brand. So it's official. We are coming up with the UNFIT brand. This is the hoodie that just launched. Unfortunately, it's not available because it's getting hotter, so this is going to be in a later launch. But if you like the snap back fitted hat, the t-shirt, free t-shirt I just launched, everything's going to be live on the channel right now. The first link in the description. Support your boy, fuck with the movement, UNFIT brand company. Of course, there's a lot of meaning behind the brand, the name of the company, which I'm creating a new channel, which I'll be talking a little bit more about in future videos. But yes, coming out with a clothing company, and the link in the description will take you to that. So if you want to support your boy, if you want to support the brand, you want to join the movement, join the community, join the UNFIT brand community, is the opportunity to support. So again, I'm pretty stoked. I was nervous at first to tell people. You just never know how people are gonna receive it. But yeah. All right, so let's dive into the title of the video. How do you adjust training program when it comes to fat loss or massing? So when it comes to fat loss, theoretically, to answer the general question, your training should not be different while you're cutting compared to while you're massing. Theoretically, the reason why it's not going to be different is because the goal still remains the same. The goal is for you to strive and try to build lean tissue mass while you're still cutting. And I know the misconception a lot of times is, oh yeah, just do high repetitions because that's better for fat loss. I'm not sure who started that. Probably some gym bro. No, your training should not be different, or the idea or the goal of your training during a fat loss phase should not be different compared to a massing phase, because one, you're trying to maintain as much strength as possible, and if you're striving to maintain strength, growth stimulus to your muscle to encourage them to keep the muscle to keep the lean tissue mass that you've worked really, really hard for. So if you're starting a fat loss goal, don't change anything about your training program. Keep the training program the same, but there are some exceptions to the rule. There's an exception to the rule, right? Yes, you are going to be adjusting certain things when it comes to training during the fat loss phase. And initially, at the beginning of your training program, you're not going to be changing anything. You're going to be doing the same program that you're doing while you're in the fat loss phase. You try to maintain your strength as much as possible. But the exception to the rule are the movements that you are using. And the reason being, you want to minimize the amount of fatigue that you are going to be accumulating. Something you got to understand is during the fat loss phase, you are already in a stress-inducing process or place because you are in a caloric deficit. You're not eating enough calories for your body to maintain itself or to recover. So you want to find ways around your training or anything around your life to minimize the amount of stress that you're facing. And that comes with deciding to swap certain movements, like, okay, let's say back squat, you might want to go with more of a machine, leg press, hack squat, Smith machine press. And the reason being to that is because back squat, especially axial loading, meaning you're loading stuff and you putting loads on your back, it's going to affect recovery. It might cause some systemic fatigue. You might be better off, oftentimes, you might be better off just switching to more of a Smith machine press or machine movement and take away something that's going to be too demanding on your body, like a squat machine, or maybe instead of deadlifting, you want to do RDLs. Instead of bench pressing, you want to do machine press. Again, because leverages are going to be changing while you're on the fat loss phase. Strength is going to go down, that's inevitable, but we try to maintain it as much as possible. So those are the changes that you are going to be making during the fat loss phase. Yes, you should try, your goal is to try to maintain as much strength, get as strong as possible throughout your mesocycle, but understanding like that strength will dip at some point in time.
Big time, no man now. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine.
During the fat loss phase, something else is going to change. That's your training volume, right? Your minimum effective volume will decrease just because you are in a caloric deficit. The ability for you to be stimulated or manage the amount of volume that you were managing during a massing phase, for instance, when you had all the calories to work with, it's going to be different. It's going to be lower. And ideally speaking, you should lower that. Another thing that's going to change during the fat loss phase is if you get into the top end where you know, let's say you competed for a show, for instance, and you're close to your show, you're close to your bodybuilding show, you are going to decrease volume just because, again, you're trying to manage stress. You're trying to limit the amount of fatigue that you're managing. So because your training volume is going to decrease, it doesn't mean intensity should decrease. Going through a phase of where you are going to be using different intensity technique, like superset, antagonistic type, or maybe some sort of giant set. Have a phase, mesocycle dedicated to just intensity training towards the back end of your fat loss phase will be crucial to make sure you are at least maintaining or retaining a lot of lean tissue mass that you work so hard to put together during the massing phase. Just to recap real quick, when it comes to training programming for fat loss or training program for massing phase, yes, there's a slight difference between them. No, you're not going to be doing high repetitions because, quote unquote, you're trying to stay shredded or melt the fat away. Your training program should not differ so much, meaning the intensity or intent should not change when you start in the fat loss phase compared to when you're massing. Your goal should still always be trying to get stronger as possible. Yes, you have to put it back in your mind, you are going to lose some strength just because you're not in the environment for you to actually gain lean tissue mass or to get stronger in the gym because you are in a deficit. But there are things you can do, meaning leverages are going to be changing throughout your fat loss phase, meaning you're not going to be as strong as you can be on a back squat that used to be while you're massing, then you might have to switch to something like a hack squat, leg press to be like your predominant movement for like a leg, for growing quads, for instance, or you might switch to more of a machine base compared to more of a free weight, just because the leverages has changed. You don't have a lot of fat supporting your joints. Overall, the weakness, overall, you just might be feeling weak, and leg press or, you know, flat press machine might just be the best bang for your buck to get as much stimulus as much as possible, because you still want to challenge the muscle to keep growing. That is the video for you guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, like I said, the UNFIT brand co is live. Follow us on Instagram, follow the clothing company, follow the brand. Again, we're new. We're trying to make a difference in the world, change the conversation a little bit. So if you support that kind of message, which, like I said, I'll be talking a little bit more about the UNFIT brand, the messaging behind it, the name of the company, why it's called the UNFIT brand. Some of you guys might already figured that out already, but I'll make a full video talking about that. But if you want to support your boys, snag a t-shirt, snag a hat, snag a coffee mug or something. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like me to cover more videos like this, put a comment below and I'll put that together for you guys. This is SAMOK from SAMOK UNFIT, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.